Hello, good morning, or any time of the day you would watch it. Hello. So, our last topic before the seventh exam, we have chapter 10 Motivating and Leading Employees. So, our most essential learning competencies is the analyze, motivation, leadership, and communication work in an organization. So, forms of employee behavior. First, we need to understand the employee's behavior before or for us to be able to understand what kind of motivation we need to apply to reach the efficiency of the employees. Number one, performance behavior, organizational citizenship, counterproductive behaviors, which are the absenteeism and turnover. We also have individual differences among employees, now, which is the personality. There are 5 fundamental traits that are especially relevant to organizations. This is the agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotionality, extroversion, and openness. As you can see, every persona or personality of every employee plays a greater part in the organization. We also have the emotional intelligence or emotional quotient of each employee. We have the social skills, the ability of engage in or the ability to mingle with other employees, self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, and empathy. Also, the attitudes of the employees. Attitude is a reflection of our beliefs and feelings about specific ideas, situations, and other people. Your attitude reflects what you believe in life, your principles in life. The way you view things is your attitude. It is a reflection, it is the outcome of your belief. Or when you are, your attitude also reflects when you are satisfied of your job and you are committed to your job. Next is matching people and jobs. We have psychological contract. What do you mean by psychological contract? It is mean that there is a give and take situation within your job and your own. For example, contributions from the individual. We contribute effort, ability, loyalty, skills, time, and competency. And then the organization gives us, on the other hand, an exchange of we are rewarded by having pay, we receive benefits, we have job security, status, promotion opportunities, and career opportunities. It is actually an exchange of benefits. We do effort, we do our loyalty, we have our time given to the organization, and we do not do it for free. The organization rewards us. At the same time, the organization is being benefited from the effort that we are giving, from the effort that the employees are giving. That is a psychological contract. In a more distinct definition, it is an expectations held by the employees concerning their contribution. That is your contribution, your effort, ability, loyalty, skills, time, and competency to an organization and what the organization will provide in return. Psychological contract. You are not going to have it in written or in writing. but it is already embedded that when an employee is doing his job or her job, she will surely receive a certain compensation for that job. Person matching of the employee's contributions, needs, job-related behaviors, and abilities to the needs of the job. So this is the matching of people and job, the offering of the employees and what the organization is needing. So motivation. Why do we need to motivate people? That is because these are not machines. Employees are not machines. They are emotional people. We needed to be rewarded. We needed to be compensated. We needed to be motivated for us to be able to reach our own efficiency. Hindi pwedeng work lang and walang, wow, ang galing mo, walang payment. I mean, what does this would give us? What does this would benefit the employees? So we have these motivational theories. What is motivation? Okay, let's start with what is motivation. This is a set of forces that cause people to behave in certain ways. Your motivation is the reason why people do things, why employees do this thing. Remember, it is a drive. It is something that pushes people to move forward to anything that you want them to achieve. That is very important in an organization. So we have a motivational theories, and let's try to decipher what motivation that does our school or our institution is using. So we have classical theory and scientific management, behavior theory, contemporary motivation theories, classical theory, and scientific management. We have 3 motivational theories. Classical theory and scientific management, behavior theory, contemporary motivation theories. So first, what is classical theory? Workers are motivated primarily by money. If money motivates, then paying employees more would result in higher levels of production. What do you mean by this? The example of classical theory is it is when you do more work, when you do a higher quota of doing something. When you reach your quota, you have an additional bonus. And every time the employee would work hard and achieve certain goals, you are rewarded a money. And that is a way of motivating people using classical theory. Next is scientific management. Analyzes jobs and find more efficient ways to perform them. Time and motion studies. This scientific management theory of motivation, it is first studying what does the job do, and then find more efficient ways to perform them. For example, in this current situation wherein there is pandemic, in the teacher's perspective, the institution, if they are using scientific management, the school should think of ways for those teachers to be not heavily burdened with paperwork. The school should opt or think of ways to make the job more tiring. Wouldn't it make you sorry, that's my dog. Wouldn't it make you motivated if the job that you are doing or the workplace that you are in is very convenient in your own way or in performing your job. You will be motivated to work in a place wherein everything is convenient. I remember one of the teachers is teaching online, and the institution actually provided all the materials, and the teacher would just do this explanation without actually preparing anything. Wouldn't it be very easy for you? You will be motivated to be on that institution kasi walang paperwork, walang anything to prepare, just yourself, your ability to teach. That is scientific management, motivation theory. It motivates an employee if the workplace is efficient, something new, it's trendy, something like that. So early behavioral theory, we need to learn what is this. So early behavioral theory, we have the human resources model, which is the theory X and Y. Second, Maslow's hierarchy of needs model. Third, two-factor motivator hygiene theory. Hawthorne effect tendency for workers' productivity increase when they are receiving special attention from management. Actually, why do we feel this? Because we look up to the management. Management is higher than employees. When someone higher in authority compliments your work, you will feel motivated. And that is Hawthorne's effect. So we have human resources model, which is the theory X and theory Y. This is two diametrically opposite perceptions of employees. For example, in theory X, employees dislike work. Therefore, she is lazy, irresponsible, and uncooperative. What would you do? You threaten, you punish, you put a sanction for better results. For the theory Y, the employees like work. She is energetic, growth-oriented, responsible, and cooperative. You would give her rewards, intrinsic rather than extrinsic rewards. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all know that there are five basic needs of human lives using Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So let's watch the organizational examples. Psychological needs, of course, the salary. This is a need of an employee. If it is not a need, then you're not an employee. Next is security needs, pension plan. You are secured for the rest of your lives or by the time that you are not already working by having pension plans. Social needs. We needed friendship. No man is an island. No one can survive without a friend. No one can be talked to. Mabuang ka na. And esteem needs, which is the status or the job title. Now this one, I'll ask you, which is more respected? Di ba pag ang teacher well respected siya? Hindi na ako mag-mention ng comparison. But when you say she is a teacher, di ba well respected siya? That is a status. That is a job title. And it's part of a need. Next is self-actualization and self-actualization needs. It is the higher part of need, which is actually the challenging job or the self-fulfillment. So those are these Maslow hierarchy of needs. This is the reason you needed to check first What are the needs of the employees for you to motivate them? For example, as a psychological needs, do they need money for them to be motivated? Yes. So the organization would do something. As you future business owners or bosses, you should know this. You check if you have a pension plan. You check if your employees are communicating or having a rapport with each other. Next is esteem needs. Is the job decent? Something like that. Next, we have Hertzberg two-factor theory. Highlights two sets of factors associated with satisfaction and dissatisfaction in workplace. Motivating factors. Recognition. Diba pag may ginagawa ka, you are being recognized, you feel motivated. Responsibility. Advancement, achievement, and the work itself. So hygiene factors, this refers to the dissatisfaction versus no dissatisfaction. Supervisors, are you satisfied with these supervisors? Working conditions. Pay and security, interpersonal relations, company policies and procedures. So motivating factor, it is actually being satisfied or not being satisfied. In your hygiene factors, this is about your external environment. We also have contemporary motivation theory. This is the expectancy theory and equity theory. Now let's go and learn something about it. Okay. Expectancy theory. People are motivated to work towards rewards that they want and believe they have a reasonable chance of obtaining. When I say if you can achieve 100 or it needs to be achievable. Those who can pass their exam ahead of time, like 10 minutes or 20 minutes before the time, before the bell or before the time frame, I will give extra points. Of course you will be motivated to answer in a speedy way, diba? This is where you expect that you will be added an additional points and you have the chance or reasonable chance of obtaining it. Diba? Lahat naman kayo binigyan ng time and the exam should be answerable in 20 minutes advance of the time frame. From the word expectancy theory, you are expecting to achieve that reward because you have a chance to have that reward. That is expectancy theory. So equity theory. What do you mean by equity? Equity is, remember in our accounting, pag sinabi mong equity, you are referring to the capital. Meaning, in equity theory, you are thinking that you're being one of the organization. Example. Think of example. We don't have an example in the PowerPoint, but equity theory discusses about what you give should be having an I cannot equity theory should equalize your inputs to your outputs, to the outputs. The result is a feeling of equity or inequity. The ratios must be fair, not the same to perceive equity. Ano lang, patas-patas. Meaning sa equity theory, you do your job and the organization would give you a rational compensation. Something like that. Strategies for enhancing motivation. We have reinforced. Kailangan, for example, like this one, very stressful na ang work. So, what do the organizations do? Kasi pag stressful na ang yung employees, it's inefficient already. Hindi yan na ma-meet ang iya nga deadlines. So, what does you do? Kasi part ito eh. Remember the staffing? Part yung motivation, part yung development, part yung emotional condition ng staffing. Sa staffing, this is the responsibility of the organization. So, the strategies for enhancing motivation. Reinforcement or behavior modification theory, goal setting, management by objectives, participative management, team management, job enrichment, and job redesign, modified work schedules. So, we'll try to discuss it one by one. We have reinforcement behavior modification theory. What is this? Positive behavior is reinforced through rewards. Negative behavior is punished by having sanctions. This is one way of enhancing your motivation. This is very common sa ating mga Pilipino, right? Pag na-perfect mong exam, hatagan ka ni mama mo sang 100 pesos. Pag nabagsak ka sa exam, akigan ka ni mama mo. That's the reinforcement behavior modification theory. You have positive behavior that is being rewarded and negative behavior that you are being punished. Goal setting theory. For you to be motivated, they said you need to set a goal. You need to write it down. Now, when you create a goal, it should be smart. What do you mean by smart? As for specific, make sure that your goal is not generalized. It's not, for example, my goal is to lose weight. My goal is to be a millionaire, to be rich. My goal is to be rich. How rich is rich? And how losing weight? How much weight is losing weight? Ang mga ginapamakot, diba? Be specific. Next, measurable. Sa measurable, yun nga rin. For example, in our PVMGO, yung sa module nyo, dapat ang nakalagay doon is SMART goals. For example, understand the motivation. How can I measure that you can understand? To be measurable, dapat the students can answer the question, blah, blah, blah. Measurable ba? In numbers, in a more clearer way. Next is achievable. Baka naman magsiset ka ng goal tapos hindi naman pala maaabot. 'Di ba? Ano ka? Imagination mo lang? Imagination mo ang limit? No. setting a goal, it should be achievable kasi baka niloloko mo na lang man ang sarili mo. Next is realistic. Okay, next day I'll lose weight. Realistic ba yan? No. Can you achieve it? No. Can you measure it? No. Is it specific? No. That is not smart. And you cannot achieve that. You cannot be motivated by a goal that is not realistic. Next is time framed. Make sure that you give a certain time for that goal. You cannot just, okay, I'll lose weight. But when? Ay, ma-study na ako. Kailan? San? Every oras. So, goal setting should be always smart. Mas madali daw yung i-achieve than having a goal that is not smart. Next is management by objectives. What do you mean by management by objectives? It is a system of collaborative goal setting that extends from the top to the bottom of the firm. In a more understandable or simpler terms, it is a big goal of the organization. It is a goal by a whole. And you can break it down into pieces and you'll put this goal in certain departments. For example, you have a very big goals. For example, this year we will have sales skyrocketing sales of 10,000 by the end of March. So what do? You put a goal to the marketing department, to your processing department, to your accounting department. You distribute your goals for you to achieve the one main goal. That is management by objectives. An advantage of this is that employees learn more about company-wide objectives. It gives the employees a greater view of what the organization is trying to achieve. Mas nakikilala nila ang organization. Ano ba talaga ang goal? Because you are given what is the goal as a whole. Kasi nagiging kasali ka sa achieving ng goal na yon. Next, feel as though they are part of a team. Because you cannot achieve that one big goal if you will not do your job. Ganun yung pinapakita ng management by objectives. Participative management and empowerment. Employees are more satisfied if they have a say in how they do their job and how the company is managed. Employees feel more committed to goals not desired by all employees. To team management. This is individual employees are given decision-making responsibilities for certain narrow activities. The types of teams is the problem-solving teams, the project teams, and the self-managed teams, transnational teams, and virtual teams. Job enrichment. Expanding or adding one or more motivating factors to a job. This is used to increase job satisfaction. Job redesign. Increase job satisfaction by improving the employee job fit. This is combining tasks, creating natural work groups, and establishing client relationships. Kasi, when you are in an institution and you don't know this topic, you will blame your employees. But no. Here in ABM, you'll realize that when you're part of the organization and you are the bosses, it's your problem. It's your job to get your employees motivated. I hope you remember this when you become bosses. You don't put the blame on your employees, but you should think of what to do to make your employees motivated. Modified work schedules allow individuals to fulfill work commitments more effectively around personal or community obligations. We have this flex time, telecommuting, compressed work share programs. Flex time. Adjust the standard daily work schedule to fit employees' needs. All must be available during the core time. Start and end times vary. Some offices will also flexible hours between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. for lunch. Our institution or our school is now on flex time. We are scheduled to go on Mondays and Fridays, but we can actually have a flexible time between it by Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday to Thursday, we can go or we can actually adjust our time during that days. But we have strict following of rules during Mondays and Fridays. Compressed work week. This is very understandable. Employees work less days but complete the same amount of hours. You hold your own schedule as long as you achieve this number of hours. Bahala ka. For example, you will have Monday, Tuesday, tapos 24 hours ka gising. So you can go and absent Wednesday to Friday if you want to. Kasi kinompress mo na yung work week mo eh. Yung pang 7 days, ginawa mo na for 2 days. For 5 days, ginawa mo na for 2 days. So, compressed work week yung inyo. Telecommuting. Employees do all or some work away from the office. Home-based office technology is used. This is very in time. Kasi ito ang kailangan natin ngayong COVID. Telecommuting. Bawal naman tayong lumabas. Work share programs. Ito naman yung work share programs. You can read it. This happens actually on yung pag may best friend ka. Tapos ikaw magaling sa math. Siya magaling sa English. Tapos ikaw, gagawin mo lahat yung math subjects. Basta siya, bahala na siya sa English. So that's a work share program. Next is leadership. It is the process of motivating others to meet goals, needed to create and direct change to help the organization get through tough times. Kasi yung leadership, ito nga yung sabi ko, it is a process of motivating. At the same time, you needed to think of something to get your employees through tough times. Hindi pwedeng nakikita mong nahihirapan na ang employees mo, titingnan mo lang. You're not a good leader. That's not leadership. So we have trait approach. Identify traits that would distinguish leaders from non-leaders. Next, determines how the behaviors of successful leaders and differs from those unsuccessful leaders. Task-oriented versus employee-oriented. Leadership styles, autocratic, democratic, and free reign. Hanggang dito lang tayo sa leadership styles ha. When we say autocratic, many managers use one style, but some may use a combination of styles depending on the situation. Situational contingency approach. Leaders have behaved differently in different situations based on characteristics of the leader, characteristics of the subordinates, and characteristics of this situation. So we have this contingency. Ano gani itong contingency nga hambal ko? Diba pag contingency, it means something that you don't expect. Meaning, your leaders would behave based on the character of the leader, kung ano ba talaga si leader. Second, character ng mga subordinates niya. Meaning, ang subordinates are those below the leader. For example, your employees and you're the boss. That's the subordinates. The employees here is the subordinates. Characteristics of the situation. Alangan naman, maging bossy ka sa isang situation na hindi need ng bossy approach. So, hanggang dito lang tayo. Your Google Forms are in the link below, but you can still read the following PowerPoints. But our exam is hanggang dito lang. Transformational leadership, the ability of the leader to recognize the need for change, create a vision to make that change happen. So, if you have a specific question, you have to personal message me right away so that I could answer your questions and clarifications. Now you can answer your Google Forms in the link below, given below. Thank you.